Probable cause versus reasonable suspicion. What's the difference? An officer has probable cause to stop, arrest, or search you if he reasonably believes that you are committing or have committed a crime. An officer has reasonable suspicion to briefly stop and investigate you if he believes you are engaging in criminal activity, and the officer can explain that belief. So let me go over this real quick. So if you just committed a crime, whether it's a beer run or rather you're doing something illegal, all right, he has the right to stop you because you just committed a crime. But if he's just stopping you because you have tattoos, or he's just stopping you just because the way you look or the way you dress, that's reasonable suspicion. And all they could do is pat you down. Not grab you, not grab your pockets, not any of that. All they could do is pat you down. But let me get a little bit more into this. But only probable cause gives an officer the power to virtually ignore your Fourth Amendment rights. So remember, it's only probable cause. Only when you have committed a crime can they ignore your rights. To have probable cause, an officer must be able to describe what he actually saw or heard that made him believe that that you just committed a crime, or that he would find evidence of a crime in a particular place. If an officer has reasonable suspicion to suspect you of criminal behavior, the officer does not have to let you walk away before he or she can figure out what you might have done. The officer can freeze the moment briefly by stopping you to investigate whether his hunch is right. For probable cause, the officer's suspicion is judged according to what any reasonable person, not just an officer, would believe if he saw the same thing the officer saw. But for reasonable suspicion, the officer's judgment is compared to what another officer would believe. Reasonable suspicion is based on the officer's training and experience in the field, which would lead an officer to believe that a person who looks or behaves in a particular way is committing a crime. Stereotypes. It is not based on political correctness. It is based on the stereotypes that emerge from an officer's daily contact with criminals. The third key distinction between probable cause and reasonable suspicion is how the police can act based on either one. If an officer has probable cause, he can seize your property or evidence, search your property, or arrest you. If an officer only has reasonable suspicion, the officer can only stop to investigate whether criminal activity is going on. So again, if he has probable cause, that's basically admitting that he knows you committed a crime. So he has the right to stop you and search you and then arrest you. But if he does not know or does not believe that you have committed a crime and he only has reasonable suspicion, he can't do anything but stop and question you. And remember, you don't have to answer any of his questions.